ça fasse sens. Je dirais que l'une des choses qui unit aussi ces trois lecteurs ce soir, c'est un... Vous allez voir, ça va faire sens. C'est un rapport à l'art. Je me souviens d'avoir vu, je crois, pour la première fois, d'avoir entendu pour la première fois un parian lors d'une performance de Frank David il y a longtemps, où elle lisait un texte de Gertrude Stein, l'autobiographie de Rose. Il y a très très longtemps, à la Cité internationale, je crois. Et on va voir que justement Lisa Robertson, qui va lire ensuite, est poète et critique, et elle a elle aussi un rapport assez particulier à l'art contemporain. Elle vit dans la Vienne, en France, et elle enseigne actuellement au Piet Zwart Institute à Rotterdam. Les livres les plus récents de Lisa sont Nelling, qui est un livre d'essai publié chez Bookthug, Revolution, a Reader, donc j'aurais dû montrer, qui est un gros livre comme ça, publié en français, qui est un recueil de textes qui ont à voir avec la Révolution de près ou de loin, et bon, voilà une vraie définition de ce que ça peut être, constitué à noter avec Matthew Stadler chez Paraguay Press, et puis elle a publié également The Office for Soft Architecture. Vous pouvez, il y a plein d'autres choses, notamment Ars Boat, The Men, The Weather. Vous pouvez aller voir plus de détails sur son travail, sur ses livres, sur le site de Double Change, et puis le site du programme par lequel elle est invitée aujourd'hui, Poets and Critics. Elle va lire aujourd'hui, je crois, donc un texte nouveau qu'on a lu déjà aujourd'hui un peu, et qui s'appelle Cinema of the Present, et que Pascal Poyet a traduit, qu'il est en train de traduire, ou qu'il a traduit entièrement, je ne sais pas comment il faut dire. En tous les cas, voilà, Pascal Poyet, Lisa Robertson, merci.
Cinema of the present.
Cinéma du présent. Cette partie-là est d'un autre niveau.
A gate made of bejeweled barrettes, artificial peaches, a rotary phone.
Pour entrer, il te fallait une identité.
A gate made of buckets.
Aucun récit physique ne te motivant, tu en as fabriqué un à partir de ce que tu avais sous la main.
A gate made of marble and coat check stubs.
Essuie-glace, passage à niveau, boucle audio.
Ah, tiny experience.
Comme dans le rêve difficile, tu vois une fleur américaine connue.
Always a war has been fought on your body.
Tu demandes, et si le langage se dépasse déjà lui-même?
And if you discover you were bought?
Tu avais espéré un quartier d'orange.
And the enjoyable gland also dribbles its politics.
Tu avais espéré de meilleures questions.
And the weeping was fed an earring.
Ce que tu as eu, un pelage d'été, d'hiver, en été.
And you have no money, but all of your cruelty is intact.
Puis du plaisir de nouveau, des plis, de bonnes fesses.
You know death has no image for it.
Une porte faite de barrettes incrustées, de pêche artificielle, d'un téléphone à cadran.
And you said coloration.
Et si tu découvrais que tu as été acheté?
As in the difficult dream, you see a common American flower.
Que ta bouche a fait de jolis dégâts dans le langage.
At times you speak just for the fun of transience.
Que seule ta charmante arrogance a permis ceci.
Birdlet with the weight of a gasp.
Que l'amour peut t'arriver.
But your desire is not an instrument.
Pour la prosodie du bruit, c'est le moment.
coded, highbrow, late night.
Tu ne peux pas revenir en arrière.
Don't warn us again. Don't toot the little horns.
C'est l'action continue de ce monde donné sur ton corps.
For me alone you have eroticized Aristotle.
Si tu parles dans cette structure imaginaire, c'est parce que les autres possibilités semblaient contraignantes.
How many indices must you write?
Le sentiment de ton sexe est devenu de plus en plus mystérieux.
I can't do a thing when I'm in your presence.
Tu as pensé au genre de meubles passés de mode qui s'accumulent dans les granges froides et dans les entrepôts.
If you speak in this imaginary structure, it's because other choices felt limited.
Ils ont enveloppé les canalisations industrielles d'une gaze mauve très fine.
Inexpressive range too, your atmosphere branched out.
Et tu as dit coloration.
In order to enter, you needed an identity.
Tu te crois souple de caractère.
It's time for the prosody of noise.
Tu as conservé la plus grande part de ton arrogance originelle.
Just violence and passivity and patience.
Pour moi, toute seule, tu as érotisé Aristote.
Last night, the parking lot was dreaming the words of your ancestors and enemies.
Ah, mini-expérience.
Nor is sensing private.
Tu n'es pas l'urgence de l'argent.
Now, you wanted only to make an immodest document.
Ton époque était miteuse et c'est comme ça que tu l'as vécu.
On a level with intuitive reason and the complicated history of grace.
Mais ton désir n'est pas un instrument.
That love happened at all.
L'équilibre change et cela t'importe moins.
That only your lovely arrogance permitted this.
Tu es lucrétienne et autonome, mais parfois épuisée.
That the snow prevented you.
Et tu le sais, la mort n'a pas d'image pour ça.
That your love, your mouth lovingly damaged the language.
Juste violence, passivité, patience.
The balance shifts and you care less.
Tu as vu l'ombre du colibri, et puis tu as vu le colibri de dessous.
The dry tree of your task, the city dogs cavorting.
Par moments, tu ne parles que pour le plaisir de l'éphémère.
The feeling of your sex became more and more mysterious.
Ton différentiel était nécessaire.
Then, pleasure of fresh, pleats, strong buttocks.
Tu avais cru et défendu chaque théorie à son tour.
Thence to measured earth and its wretchedness.
Or, tu ne voulais qu'une chose, produire un document impudique.
You had been hoping for a quarter of an orange.
Oisillon du poids d'un souffle.
This is one part of a new level.
Combien d'index dois-tu écrire?
This is the continuous action of the given world on your body.
Il y a toujours eu une guerre sur ton corps.
Trees, lights, on a level with the genitalia.
Tu as dit le sexe de la croyance et de la boue.
Unmotivated by any bodily narrative, you made one from the stuff at hand.
Ton économie te fait ça.
What you got was a winter fur in summer.
Ni l'essence privée.
Windshield wipers, train crossings, tape loops.
Arbre, lumière, au niveau des organes génitaux.
You are Lucretian and self-reliant, but sometimes exhausted.
Une porte faite de marbre et de tickets de vestiaire.
You are no longer aesthetical.
Au niveau de la raison intuitive de l'histoire compliquée de la grâce.
You are not the emergency of money.
La nuit dernière, le parking révèle les mots de tes ancêtres et de tes ennemis.
You ask, what if language is already beyond itself?
Dans le registre expressif aussi, ton atmosphère s'est étendue.
You believe you are of supple character.
Et une boucle d'oreille alimentait les pleurs.
You can't go back.
Et la glande agréable, elle aussi, verse sa politique.
You had been hoping for a quarter of an orange.
Tu n'es plus esthétique.
You had been hoping for better questions.
Tu n'es pas non plus spirituelle et légère.
You had believed and argued for each of the theories in its turn.
Tu fabriques un lieu pour l'erreur.
You have retained most of your original arrogance.
Ne nous avertis plus, ne donne pas beaucoup de klaxons.
You listened to mist.
Tu voudrais lire un paragraphe qui ne soit pas sur le mur.
You said the sex of believing is dirt.
Tu voudrais avoir disparu complètement.
You saw the shadow of the hummingbird, and
Que
then the hummingbird from beneath.
Que la neige t'a empêché.
You thought of kinds of furnishings no longer popular, accumulating in cold barns and warehouses.
Tu as écouté la bohème.
You wanted to make a soul contagion.
Codé, un télo, fin de soirée.
You will have been recognized by a tree.
Une porte faite de son.
You would like to have vanished utterly.
Tu es distante de ta propre extrémité.
You'd like to read a paragraph that's not on the wall.
Et par conséquent de la terre mesurée et de sa misère.
You're aloof to your own extremity.
L'arbre sec de ton travail, les chiens de la ville qui s'ébattent.
You're making a site for error.
Ton concept est clair. T'exercer à rêver, puis prendre des notes.
You're not spiritual and light either.
Tu n'as pas un sou, mais toute ta cruauté est intacte.
Your concept is clear. To practice dreaming, then to dream, then to make a record.
Impossible de faire quoi que ce soit en ta présence.
Your differential was necessary.
Tu voulais fabriquer une contagion des âmes.
Your economy did this to you.
Tu auras été reconnu par un arbre.
This is one part of a new level.
Mini-expérience.
In order to enter, you needed an identity.
Arbre, lumière, au niveau des organes génitaux.
Unmotivated by any bodily narrative, you made one from the stuff at hand.
Au niveau de la raison intuitive et de l'histoire compliquée de la grâce.
Windshield wipers, train crossings, tape loops.
Aucun récit physique ne te motivant, tu en as fabriqué un à partir de ce que tu avais sous la main.
As in the difficult dream, you see a common American flower.
C'est l'action continue de ce monde donné sur ton corps.
You ask, if language is already beyond itself?
Ce que tu as eu, un pelage d'hiver en été.
You had been hoping for a quarter of an orange.
Cette partie-là est d'un autre niveau.
You had been hoping for better questions.
Codé, un télo, fin de soirée.
What you got was a winter fur in summer.
Combien d'index vas-tu écrire?
Then pleasure afresh, pleats, strong buttocks.
Comme dans le rêve difficile, tu vois une fleur américaine commune.
A gate made of bejeweled barrettes, artificial peaches, a rotary phone.
Dans le registre expressif aussi, ton atmosphère s'est étendue.
And if you discover you were bought,
Essuie-glace, passage à niveau, boucle, audio.
that your mouth lovingly damaged the language,
Et la glande agréable, elle aussi, verse sa politique.
that only your lovely arrogance permitted this.
Et par conséquent, de la terre mesurée et de sa misère.
That love happened at all.
Et si tu découvrais que tu as été acheté?
It's time for the prosody of noise.
Et tu as dit, coloration.
You can't go back.
Et tu le sais, la mort n'a pas d'image pour ça.
This is the continuous action of the given world on your body.
Et tu n'as pas un sou, mais toute ta cruauté est intacte.
If you speak in this imaginary structure, it's because other choices felt limiting.
Et une boucle d'oreille alimentait les pleurs.
The feeling of your sex became more and more mysterious.
Il y a toujours eu une guerre sur ton corps.
You thought of kinds of furnishings no longer popular, accumulating in cold barns and warehouses.
Ils ont enveloppé les canalisations industrielles d'une gaz mauve très fine.
They have wrapped the industrial ductwork in filmy mauve gauze.
Impossible de faire quoi que ce soit en ta présence.
And you said, coloration.
juste violence, passivité, patience.
You believe you are of supple character.
L'arbre sec de ton travail, les chiens de la ville qui s'ébattent.
You have retained most of your original arrogance.
L'équilibre change et cela t'importe moins.
For me alone you have eroticized Aristotle.
La nuit dernière, le parking rêvait les mots de tes ancêtres et de tes ennemis.
Ah, tiny experience.
Le sentiment de ton sexe est devenu de plus en plus mystérieux.
You are not the emergency of money.
Mais ton désir n'est pas un instrument.
Yours was a shabby time and you felt it as such.
Ne nous avertis plus, ne donne pas le coup de klaxon,
But your desire is not an instrument.
ni l'essence privée.
The balance shifts and you care less.
Oisillons du poids d'un souffle.
You are Lucretian and self-reliant, but sometimes exhausted.
Or, tu ne voulais qu'une chose, produire un document impudique.
And you know death has no image for it.
Par moments, tu ne parles que pour le plaisir de l'éphémère.
Just violence and passivity and patience.
Pour entrer, il te fallait une identité.
You saw the shadow of the hummingbird, and then the hummingbird from beneath.
Pour la prosodie du bruit, c'est le moment.
At times you speak just for the fun of transience.
Pour moi, toute seule, tu as érotisé Aristote.
Your differential was necessary.
Puis du plaisir de nouveau, des plis, de bonnes fesses.
You had believed and argued for each of the theories in its turn.
Que l'amour peut arriver,
Now you wanted only to make an immodest document,
que la neige t'a empêché,
birdlip with the weight of a gasp.
que seule ta charmante arrogance a permis ceci,
How many indices must you write?
que ta bouche a fait de jolis dégâts dans le langage.
Always a war has been fought in your body.
Si tu parles dans cette structure imaginaire, c'est parce que les autres possibilités semblaient contraignantes.
You said the sex of believing is dirt.
Ton concept est clair, t'exercer à rêver, puis prendre des notes.
Your economy did this too.
Ton différentiel était nécessaire.
Nor is sensing private.
Ton économie t'a fait ça.
Trees, lights, on a level with the genitalia.
Ton époque était miteuse et c'est comme ça que tu l'as vécu.
A gate made of marble and coat check stubs.
Tu as conservé la plus grande part de ton arrogance originelle.
On a level with intuitive reason and the complicated history of grace.
Tu as dit le sexe de la croyance et de la boue.
Last night, the parking lot was dreaming the words of your ancestors and enemies.
Tu as écouté la brume.
In expressive range too, your atmosphere branched out.
Tu as pensé au genre de mode, le passé de mode qui s'accumule dans les granges froides et dans les entrepôts.
And the weeping was fed an earring.
Tu as vu l'ombre du colibri et puis tu as vu le colibri de dessous.
And the enjoyable gland also dribbles its politics.
Tu auras été reconnu par un arbre.
You were no longer aesthetical.
Tu avais cru et défendu chaque théorie à son tour.
You're not spiritual and light either.
Tu avais espéré de meilleures questions.
You're making a site for error.
Tu avais espéré un quartier d'orange.
Don't warn us again. Don't toot the little horns.
Tu demandes, et si le langage se dépasse déjà lui-même?
You'd like to read a paragraph that's not on the wall.
Tu es distante de ta propre extrémité.
You would like to have vanished utterly.
Tu es lucrétienne et autonome, mais parfois épuisée.
That the snow prevented you.
Tu fabriques un lieu pour l'erreur.
You listened to mist.
Tu n'es pas l'urgence de l'argent.
Coded, highbrow, late night.
Tu n'es pas non plus spirituelle et légère.
A gate made of buckets.
Tu n'es plus esthétique.
You're aloof to your own extremity.
Tu ne peux pas revenir en arrière.
Thence to measured earth and its wretchedness.
Tu te crois souple de caractère.
The dry tree of your task. The city dogs cavorting.
Tu voudrais avoir disparu complètement.
Your concept is clear. To practice dreaming, then to dream, then to make a record.
Tu voudrais lire un paragraphe qui ne soit pas sur le mur.
And you have no money. but all of your cruelty is intact.
Tu voulais fabriquer une contagion des âmes.
I can't do a thing when I'm in your presence.
Une porte faite de barrettes incrustées, de pêches artificielles, d'un téléphone à cadran.
You wanted to make a soul contagion.
Une porte faite de marbre et de tickets de vestiaire.
You will have been recognized by a tree. I'm going to read one more poem. It's short, and it's in process, and I think I think I'm arriving at the beginning of a study of hormones.
Lisa, could you speak up just a touch more?
Yes. 4:16 in the afternoon in the summer of my 52nd year. I'm lying on the bed in the heat wondering about geometry, and the deafening, uninterrupted volume of desire bellows, roars mournfully, laments like a starling that has flown into glass. These are two things that I want to remember permanently. The dog straining diagonally after the hare at dusk last night, and the glittering disco sky. I'm no longer afraid of being misunderstood. What suits me better is to stargaze or to lie in stylish bags. Now it's time to return to the sex of my thinking. How long do I get? A fly moves across the pages of an open book. Pages are quivering. I want stimulants, relaxants, hallucinogens. I'm not good at order. The men who tremble a little bit while speaking about passivity, they're all right. I could compare them to a song. You should live twice in time, were I contingent upon your heart, your spleen, or embody the spate, then collapse of love, the living creature. To ad gravitas, I am alone transcribing. If you can never be mine, I'll get some Swinburne. There is there is the sense of women as impairments, ability. That's how it falls. Perilous, unoptional. It was difficult to sing. Using Ovid, maybe, you'd lay your tongue across my art. Loved face. The poem is a hormone. I have no idea what song means that polishes the heart. We press out these voices from the inmost parts to be able to start. Sometimes desire awakens the ears of a whole crowd with copious particularity, with the urgent motions of membranes, with the mystic dialectic of toxins and hormones. More hormones, less toxins. Less hormones, more toxins. Movement between toxins and hormones, and sometimes their confusion, for hormones can act as toxins, and toxins can also act as hormones, so that the fear of death falls away for a minute. Venus breaks a dew at the borders of everything. Right now, when I think of her, I have no problem with the feminine pronoun. I'm stupid against its animate insult, me with my scaly feet, my rubbed thorax, my vibrating wings, my periodic radiation, my repetitive chant and cunt. A fly moves across the pages of an open book. The wind rifles the pages slightly. I think of girls saying I in novels. People saying we in plazas and restaurants. Students and cops. People's mouths are brutal, portable things. The pronoun is gratuitous expenditure as necessity. I was a sucker in stairwells, a daughter in blouses. I was the only human to ever feel desire for the fly moving across the open book, for the shimmer of gnats above a frugal terrace. I'm stupid against flowers, quotas. I'm stupid against tables. All my cells bust. I got a little shipwreck, a frugal little shipwrecked on a decorated terrace. It's hard not to read this as testimony. I was a sucker in blouses. I was the only human to ever say we. I sat at frugal tables and I undertook the ceremony of brutality or pronouns. I knelt, I bussed a testimony. I was a shimmer of gnats at noon. I was living in a hut as a form of protest, and it didn't matter. I lied and I held it together, and the light was for my body, and the fly was a shipwreck. To thee I went, but I didn't. I shelter my lesion. Some are masters of desire, all deferral and expletives, using the word triumphant while they lounge in their marriages. To choose, to think, to mean, to gather, to eagerly pursue the shimmer that can't cohere above the table, to occupy the silent terrace as the flowers just pour upwards, to be organized towards sugar. Why not? But then we would become enemies. Innovation is not a quality. I want you to really mean it. The truth is, everything that isn't poetry bores me. And within the problem of lamentations, my perennial resistance sensation, I'm telling you things you already know to keep myself intact. There is no everyday life. I have taken down the curtains so I can watch the foliage move, to be accurate, to be objective. My idea relates to landscape's unimagined achievement. An event I never sought will shift through the frail silence as I sit in a chair not moving. We've loved nothing brutally. The DNA of loss moves through leaves, some hidden oxidant of vibration playing on a disintegrating cassette tape to the tune of "You Are the Tenderness of Strangers Half Sleeping on a Train." Gods still move by river. The flat warehouses are country-like. And I wonder about silt and trees and chemicals as boats are loaded. What if the body does not signify? Its we lost cluster starts to fade, the skin opening to the moisture of the season. Its immunities the landscape. By landscape, I mean political economy. To have a bath, to write in bed in a hotel, so obvious and so easy, an entire day till the light starts to fade, to arrive at the long duration of an instability, how to walk with this till the end, speak its tongue like a guest at the discontinuous table. This fundamental torsion, so thoroughly unskirtable, There will never again be sex in 1983, and I don't mind really. Must I fear formlessness? If it weren't for this, I'd be free, as body organs cast in metals, divinatory objects, to decorate time. I like to spit from moving trains. So much can be passed over in avoidance of the rupture. The driver of the team of 6 horses plowing was a woman. Cotton sleeves rolled to the elbow, hands to straining harness, skinny, capable. My kinship with this woman, her 6 huge horses and the surge of their vitality running through leather into my body. We who have no memories at all mount the pulsing tree in evening. I start a school called How Can I Live? In my school called How Can I Live? In my theory of appearing, I lay out my costume. We don't belong to culture. We're sunsets. We simplify our thoughts until they resemble stripes. Stop hiding from life, we say to ourselves. Our skin itches. I beg you, show me something unknowable. I don't believe in this possibility of knowing. How will you start? The flipped over buses, the strange stuff suspended in the air. While they copulate, they turn their heads towards the east. Sometimes I see things and I know right away, like looking someone in the eye. The great health is unknown gratuitous expenditure towards the immaterial ideal. It is not a metaphor. From now on, everything will be called the middle. Everything will be called the seam. Everything will be called toxins. Everything will be called the great health. Everything will be a hormone.